Who is that? Oh, hey guys. Check it out. I'm under the hose. Came across another car to, well, for me, not savable. It has its normal rust, and then it has some other damages that were just caused by people. So basically, we have an engine with a big hole in the side. So we're trying to get it out of here right now. There was one bolt and a strap holding this thing in. All right, let's take a look at this thing. All right, so supposedly it's through the back side. Yep. Right here. Let me see. Can we do it? Well, there we go. Hopefully you can see that. We've got a window to the future. All right, so like I said, good old parts car here. We're gonna pull this apart, see what we can save off of this motor. Looks like they had some fun getting this apart. It's never fun to pull these cylinder heads off of these engines while they are still in the car. Sucks. Well, heat shield's still on it. So yeah. But anyway, there's still a lot here. There's a lot that we got to pull apart, double check, see what stuff is good. Right in behind here. You can see this is the way they're supposed to go. That's the way that piston is. So, yeah. So that stuff's out of the way. It looks like here, this whole core support is pushed up pretty good across the front here, which does kind of suck. I mean, this was actually in pretty good shape coming across the front. It did have some paint work. We've got some red here. I think this was one of the pipes that came with this. Sitting on here, looks like they torched a bolt out. It has a catalytic converter. I'm not sure if it's the OEM one yet or not. Yeah, you can see overspray there on the AC lines. Looks like something was making a home down here. But we've got custom repair here. Not sure what kind of tape holding the fender together here. So if that's any sign of what we got, that's pretty bad. Probably gonna save these rotors. We'll save these spindles. The throttle cable on this one is actually in some pretty nice shape. So let's just take a quick walk around here. It did have some OK Racelands on it. I pulled them already. A brand of aftermarket sway bar. I'm not quite sure. It goes down into these brackets. A little rusty, could be cleaned up, made nice if you wanted to. Trunk lid actually looks pretty good. We had it set up for some stereo equipment here, it looks. So, other than having to heat that up and get that stuff off, not bad there either. The seal here I think was pretty rough. They had already cut out the tops here. I think they had like a stereo system in the car. Looks like it was original quarter panels on it. You know, exhaust there. Oh yeah, let's back over here. Like I said, I don't want you to think I'm tearing apart a nice car. I mean, we have some good bubbles right here. Let's just take sway bar bolt. It's actually into here, so it's got the rot starting. Some of you guys fix that stuff. Right now for me, it's just not. Bed back doors junk, so we'll be stripping the door out for parts. I didn't really get too crazy down in here to look. Yeah, moisture and stuff down in here. I don't know what we got going on here with powder. This side over here kind of looks okay, so you might be able to get a dog leg out of this side if there's no rust down in here. I'll know more when I start pulling that apart. So, I didn't look, but the dash breaking like that tells me 05, but I'm not sure. It does have some aftermarket seats in. Very rough condition. There is a lot of bends. There's pieces missing off of them. You know, this car just had a rough life. It's been sitting for a while, so like I said, it's hard to say. Had that up for the center console removal. I was trying to get to the shifter. Somebody wanted the shifter, but I never heard back. So there's that. Passenger door. Big dent here. So that one's junk. Big dent here. Big dent back here. Junk. We've already determined this one has rust. It looks pretty bad for this one. Right here, it looks like somebody had tried to pull the top of the door out to get into the car. The rest of it does look pretty good. Like I said, I try to save everything I can. A full rust down here. Look at that. That's that whole lower corner. Just pushed right off of that. Here's a little bit better look from this side. I think I found a good bit of change in here. It needs cleaned up, but I might have like $3 or $4, maybe 5. Start looking. I didn't even hook this thing up to see what kind of miles are on it. It looks like it has a nice Mopar volt gauge, the highlight of the car. The boost gauge is off, so that's a no-go right there. That fender on that side might be okay. Like I said, we got some stuff here. Probably pull the rack, power steering. The engine harness looks good. I think the bracket, might pull them AC lines. I'll definitely pull this one if it's okay. The rest of them will probably end up just, well, you know how it is. They got red paint on them. No one wants to buy something with red paint, so it's not worth pulling. We'll check out the center mount, see if that's any good. It's going to be kind of fun pulling this apart. Sunroof, I mean, I don't know if this thing works. I can try powering it up to the fuse breaker. At least then I can see what kind of miles were actually on this car. You know, there's a lot of little parts here, and it's a lot of stuff to pull when you're talking that kind of stuff. Some stuff people need, but there just isn't a lot of stuff left on this car that someone's going to want to buy right away. So the hood was good. The front bumper cover was usable. It did have an aftermarket big front mount that was okay. So I think some of the other stuff I had seen. Let's just check this out. The exhaust. It looks like it was made in an exhaust shop. So it's not like a direct fit. I don't even know. Like, we got some really nice welds up there. You can see where the seam is. It's starting to rust. Those welds up there are pretty scary looking. Man, even for rear suspension, I'm getting low on these, so I might pull the backing plates. If the e-brake cables are nice, we'll be pulling them. We'll get all the side moldings off of here that look like they're any good. And the back bumper we know is no good. These are always rusted. I don't know where this car spent its whole life. Like, that sucker is solid right there, man. Solid. So I'm gonna get up. I just started, like I said, I started picking at this thing a little bit. It's a spring cleaning time. Yeah. I just pick at this thing. I'll show you what the inside of the engine looks like. If there's any other cool stuff that I find, you know, or I can pull that looks like it's good, I'll let you guys know. I usually always like to show stuff that I find that was done incorrectly, just to kind of show off the, I don't know, somebody's creativity, I guess you could say. But it's definitely a lot of work. All right, well, I've got these seats out. Somebody tried to fab some pretty strange looking brackets. that were not adjustable by any means. And I don't know, like I started using this for something here. But we got a lot of stuff pulled out of the inside here already. I'm just piling it up to the side. The plan is to just kind of back under this thing and take it. This exhaust looks like it's total freaking junk. I'm going to be stripping those two doors because they have rust. I didn't look at this one here yet. This one might be okay. Now, got the dent. Nobody wants no dent. Nobody wants this either. So that's right. All these doors get stripped. I have to pull the sunroof, and I'll be pulling the sunroof headliner out also. And then once we get the dash out, we can get wiring harness. I'll get underneath here. We'll cut that. Power steering lines need to come off. And yeah, there's not much more left. And then we can load this thing up. Luckily, this fender over here was actually in good shape. It's pretty impressive. I didn't expect that. Oh yeah, we got front knuckles. I don't know. Looks like the rack might have been replaced. We might pull that, but I highly doubt it. They usually don't need to. No one usually wants them, so. Clutch slave assembly, which we'll get to when we get the dash out. I did find a good bit of change. This is the stuff that was dirty. I probably had about $5 in regular clean coin. So I'm gonna get in here. We're gonna get the steering column out. I only got a couple more bolts left in the dash, and then we got to undo some wiring. And the dash will be out. The column will be out. And I'll lift the carpet up, and then I'll finish getting the wiring harness out. I can get the e-brake cables undone. They look like they're salvageable. And like I said, I got to strip these doors out, and we'll get this thing loaded up, and hopefully we can get this thing run to scrap here in the next day or two. I do have a lot that I'm going to be putting in this. All right, busy knocking this thing out. All the wiring's gone, brake booster. That stuff I'm keeping. I will be cutting a cat out. Hopefully I can get something for that for scrap. It looks like it's an aftermarket one. It might be factory. I can't tell. Shifter cables need to come out yet. We've got both of the front suspensions that we want to keep. We're down to like the headliner, the sunroof. We have rear brakes, and some of the suspension we're probably going to take. You can see we still got that. Pull that out. We got it pretty empty in here. Found a mouse nest behind there. None of those pedals are good. Normally I'll keep the gas pedal because they get play, but that one's got a lot of play. So everything's out. I would have kept the harness, but there was cuts in it, and normally if they're damaged, I don't even bother. So you can see we got rear calipers, e-brake lines. I don't know if I'm just going to take the whole backing plate or the knuckle and just cut everything off, and then I'll have that off to the side. But that's pretty much what I need for the back, or left, what's left in here. And then we'll go over everything that we were able to save. There is a couple things that have already left, but it wasn't much. I got to get the engine stripped, so we'll throw all that junk in there. I've got a lot of stuff to throw in this car. It's spring cleanup, man. I did pull the lines. It looks like the cooler has seen better days, but everything else is there for that. Front 05 harness, battery bracket, some other interior pieces. Here's the shifter, some of the interior pieces. Both rear window regulators were good. They're getting hard to find now. But yeah, so we'll be back on this tomorrow. It's dark. We're done for the day. We didn't spend much time, but we did get a lot accomplished for the little bit amount of time that we did spend here today. As I'm turning out the lights, I saw something that I thought was kind of funny. I've never seen one of these. Let's see if it picks it up. See it? See if I can get over there without killing myself. This right here, check it out. Guess what that is? That is the ball on the shifter glowing. That's freaking wild. All right, we got rid of the red car. We got to finish stripping out our motor, you know, alternator, probably oil pan, the pipes, You know, some of this stuff on the front, I think this is broken, so the inner one's no good. Heat shield, you know, some stuff there. Power steering lines. I don't know why I saved this ABS stuff. Shield for the cables. Clutch, slave and master. Some Windows stuff. I'm drawing a blank. Fuse box harness. Rear window regulator, some interior panels, some other stuff. Shifter cables, throttle cable. This, we got those right there. These seats, nothing super nice. The rear seat upper was okay. We've got a dash right there, which is okay. I got the side skirts off the one side. I also found that there was a set of, I believe these are progressive sway bar, front and rear. They're pretty rough. You could sand them down and still use them. Everything came apart here for the Heim end links. Pretty solid setup. Hood, trunk with wing. One fender that has a little bit of damage there in the front from being super low. So I ended up getting rid of, let me see here, I got a little list. I got rid of front bumper cover. There was a nice vacuum line set. It had a set of Raceland coils. The headlights were junk, so they were really cheap. An intercooler, the engine harness, and basically I sold like the brake assemblies off of it. The car did have something that was actually pretty cool, but I got to test it out. It had a stage 2 computer in it here with the toy bezel. It's missing the intercooler sprayers, but it still had the modified washer bottle. So we can get down in here. Mopar Performance, stage 2 turbo. We have the 3-bar sensor and the 3-bar sensor right here. So that stuff's all there. Look at that right here. The injectors. So we got most of a stage 2 kit right there. I was able to get all of the door locks and stuff, so we have all of that also along with the key. So it's ready to go. I'm gonna throw it in something and test it out. But it was kind of cool to get one that has toys, even though it's missing a little bit of the sprayers. So let's go look at the car. All right, so I think that had a little crack in it, so it was no good. The front suspension was all worn out. The bushings were bad, and the control arms. There was rust on the lower member. The upper core support was bad. The overflow bottle was just worn out, no good. The rear harness had stuff cut. This door has a dent. This door has a dent. This was probably okay if somebody needed it. The charcoal canister, I didn't pull the fuel tank. It's just like, why bother? As long as it's been sitting, the gas is probably no good. The exhaust melted into the tailpipes. The tailpipes melted into this. Both taillights have this issue here. The trunk carpet was no good. Yeah, you can see here. Look down in, you can see it's melted right there. Taillights are melted. This side here, like I said, had rust. This door had rust. That door, look. Rust. So we pulled the sunroof assembly out, which you guys seen. But I loaded this up with a bunch of junk, bad axles, some neon stuff, just a lot of metal and stuff to go to the scrap yard. There's the back seat. So that was what was left. I pulled off everything I needed. So we didn't really salvage that much from this car, but we almost broke even is the best way to say it. So on to the next project.